Hello Facebook, this is Jared. I decided that I was going to hijack Orange Weekly from Kevdan this week while he's out touring the world or something. Anyways, I don't want to take too long today. OTAs are over now, and we're getting ready to enter into the season here pretty soon. And during this downtime, there's not too much to talk about that we really haven't already talked about other than what's new. And this week we have a special edition of State of the Division, which we're going to be talking about. We're going to talk about the Oakland Raiders. So, as much as I hate talking about the Oakland Raiders, we do have to talk about them and figure out what's going on with them and how it affects us, specifically with the new signing of Derek Carr and the big paycheck that he just got. So we're going to talk a little bit about that. I also wanted to send out a big congratulations to Von Miller for getting the number 2 voted by his peers best player in the NFL next to Tom Brady, and I couldn't agree more with the decision to make him number 2, and especially the fact that Tom Brady got number 1. There's not much you can do about it. He is the best in the league. As much as it burns me to say it, he is the best in the league, and Von Miller is definitely a close number 2. As far as where the rest of them fall, there's not much I can say about that. However, I like where Von Miller's at. So, the other thing that we're going to talk about today, too, is what the outlook is for what we're looking for when we come back from this off time in the next couple weeks. We are very fast approaching the NFL season, which I know everybody's super excited for. I know I am. And we want to know what these battles that we're looking at and how they're going to play out and what that means for us as the Broncos. So, without further ado, I'm going to get into it. We're going to start with my favorite segment in our show, and it's called State of the Division. We're going to be talking about the Oakland Raiders today. Like I said, I hate talking about the Oakland Raiders, but we need to talk about them. And because we play them twice a year, and right now they're our biggest threat to winning the AFC West, and there's not too much more that we can do to try to beat them out other than win. And we need to beat them specifically to try to get that situation. We all play the same teams throughout the year, so it'll be very important that we beat the Raiders. So the biggest thing I want to talk about is what the Derek Carr signing and the big contract that he just got, the $125 million contract that he just got with $70 million guaranteed, how that affects us as the Denver Broncos. First of all, I'd like to say congratulations, obviously, to him for getting the big paycheck. And also congratulations to the Denver Broncos, because the Oakland Raiders are not going to be in a good position here in a couple of years. Their top 2 players they're paying out are, don't get me wrong, probably the 2 better players in Derek Carr and Khalil Mack. But they have a lot of people that I don't know if they're not thinking about it, they need to sign next year. Half of their offensive line, the people that are protecting Derek Carr, are unrestricted free agents next year. So I don't know how they're going to deal with that or how they're going to re-sign those guys. They're paying out one of their offensive line $10 million a year. The other 2 of the 3 guys that are sitting right next to him aren't getting half of that, and they're going to be unrestricted free agents next year. You know they're going to be shopping, and they're going to be looking out for other teams and where to go. It'd be nice if the Broncos could pick up a really nice big offensive lineman, but we'll see where our guys go this year. Another thing with that, too, is they also have 3 really good in Cordell Patterson, Michael Crabtree, and Amari Cooper wide receivers. Amari Cooper and Michael Crabtree are both signed on for the next 2 years, but for the 3rd year they're going to be free agents. So we're going to see how they deal with the money issue that I think they're going to have in the short run, unless they can play some sort of game. But we all know that their general manager is not John Elway, and he's not going to be able to do the same things that our John Elway can do for them. So this year they are going to be a very tough team, with Marshawn Lynch. They have a lot to prove after the way that they went out last year. And if Derek Carr can stay healthy, they're a great team. If he can't, if him or Marshawn Lynch goes down, what does that team turn into? And it's an interesting situation that we don't have ourselves in. If one of our guys goes down, there's the next man up system. I don't think they don't have that. They don't have that concept. They go big on their all-out athletes, and that's going to play advantage to us in the long run, in the longevity. So, thank you for joining in. Anybody who's watching for the first time, Kevdan is normally here giving you guys your weekly address. He is out out and about throughout the world, so I'm taking over for today. My name is Jared. If you guys have any questions, please comment them. I will definitely try to get to them as soon as possible, and I will try to answer them as best as I can. And if you have any comments or concerns, please post them. And thanks again for joining. Like I said, it's going to be a shorter video tonight because of this situation. We're no longer in OTAs. We're getting ready for the season. When they come back and we start back up, it'll be picking up again a lot, and we'll have a lot to talk about. We'll have a lot of guest stars. But for now, we're just trying to give you guys some updates that we really think that you need to hear about. So, Von Miller at number 2 in the NFL, voted by his peers to be the number 2 player in the NFL right now, and big congratulations to him. Obviously, we've known it for a few years now that Von Miller is a huge impact on the game. You talk to any of the coaches from any team that ever plays the Denver Broncos, the one person you have to look out for is Von Miller. So he's what makes our team, our defense, as good as they are. Without the pressure that he has, the no-fly zone they have a lot less time, and they have a lot less time to be able to interrupt the receiver to stop the timing of the passing. And our defense really revolves around him, and he's really the leader of our team too, and you can see it when you go out to their spring training and their OTAs and their practices. He's really the leader of the team. He's not a very vocal guy, but he is when he speaks, everybody listens, and I think that's a really important thing that you have to have, and especially on the defense, you need to have that guy that can bring everybody together when things might not be going their way. So again, congratulations to Von Miller for getting number 2 in the league. Real quick, I wanted to touch a little bit on what we're looking at for. Everybody always wants to talk about the quarterback battle. I kind of want to talk about the running back battle for just a couple seconds. The signing of Jamaal Charles this offseason was a huge signing for us, and if he can stay healthy, I think he's going to have a very good impact. And we were talking last week about the leadership role that he can play on that offense with C.J. Anderson. However, a realist, we're going to have a few injuries, bumps and bruises throughout the year. Having him and C.J. Anderson in the backfield is going to be a huge boost for our offense. It's going to be a next man up situation. Someone goes down, someone comes back up and keeps going. So I'm really excited for that, and I don't think there's really a battle there that we should be too concerned about with fans. As fans, I think the offensive core and Mike McCoy knows what they're doing, and they know how to get the ball out of the hands of the quarterback and into the hands of the playmakers. They've been doing it forever in San Diego with as crappy of a team as they had for the last few years. They haven't been terrible because of Mike McCoy, and now it's great to have him back, and it's great to see what he's going to do with our running back situation, and it's going to be a very interesting year as a fan to be able to see how that plays out. And so I'm really excited about it, and I hope you guys are too. The other thing, of course, offensive-wise, receivers. Somebody was asking me the other day about what I think the receiver situation is going to play out like. Other than a few guys that we kind of picked up in the off-season after the draft, undrafted guys getting cut, I don't think we're going to lose too much. Our main core guys, plus the 2 guys that we picked up in the draft, are going to be our starters, mostly because of the special teams opportunity that they present for us. And I think that's going to be our strong suit this year, where in the past our special teams and our kick return, our punt return hasn't really been what we need it to be. It hasn't been electric. It hasn't really gotten us the field position that can really play a big difference in a game. And you can talk to any coach or a lot of fans. You can talk to any coach, anybody that has something to do with the football community. Field position plays a huge part in what they do and how they pick plays and how they choose plays, how they march down the field. It really depends on where they're at. There's a certain limited playbook that you have when you're inside the 20 as opposed to when you're between the 20s on the field. So I think having special teams threats that we have now is really going to boost our offense. It's really going to give us a better idea of where we're going to be this year and where we go. Again, if you're joining us, thanks again for watching. My name is Jared. Kev Dan is out this week. But if you have any comments, questions, or concerns, please post them. I will try to get to them and answer them to the best of my knowledge. So, really, the last thing I want to talk to you guys today, I know it's kind of short. Again, we're kind of in between season and OTAs. So, the last thing I want to talk about with the Broncos is what we see ourselves being at the end of the year. Everybody wants to make the playoffs, and I do believe 110% we will be making the playoffs this year. But we do have a really tough division with Kansas City and Oakland. It's going to be kind of tough. I don't think Kansas City is going to be where they are like they were last year. I think they were a little bit. I'm going to get a lot of Kansas City fans hating on me, but they're very overrated last year, and we did lose to them. We had a tough year, but they were a very overrated team. They don't have everything, and getting rid of their number one receiver in the offseason really shows how volatile the world that the AFC West is with what they're doing. And I think Kansas City just made a terrible decision with getting rid of Macklin, and we're going to be able to pay them back for what they did to us last year. So I don't think they're going to be as big of a threat this year. Obviously, Oakland's going to be our biggest threat. There's a lot of people calling they're one of the best odds other than the Patriots to win the Super Bowl, which we all know the Oakland Raiders don't make the Super Bowl, not in this century. So it'll be interesting to watch. I think we're going to play Oakland early in the season. I think it's the second or third game in the season we play Oakland, and that's really going to give us an idea of what kind of team they're going to be later in the season when we play them again. I like the idea that we play them early in the season for that reason. If we play them early in the season and they're a very run-heavy centric team as opposed to being the pass-heavy centric team that they were in the past, it's really going to give us an idea of how we can play them later on in the season. Also, the earlier in the season, the better, because they're not quite together as a team with the new running back, with beast mode being down there. Marshawn Lynch is going to play a big impact on their offense, and we don't know how yet, and we don't know where that's going to play in yet. So I think being able to see them early in the season is going to be really good for us. We'll be able to take advantage of it. And even if they do get our number early in the season, being able to understand and see what they do later in the season is going to play dividends. So I'm really looking forward to that matchup. Like I said, at the end of the season, it is going to come down to who wins those two games and what the spread difference. I think we either come out with the same record, we may lose a couple games less, but we're going to be second in the AFC West, first or second in the AFC West for sure, but we'll see how that plays out. So again, thanks for joining. Thank you for watching, both live and later on. If you guys have any questions for me or Kevin or anything, please comment on the page, post on the page, and do what you need to so that we can get that fan reach out. This is a group for the fans, by the fans, and we really just want conversation to roll and see what you guys are thinking out there as well as what we're thinking. So this isn't a one-way street. So please comment, like the page, share the page, let your friends know, all the Bronco fans know, and thank you for joining me. So without further ado, Broncos Nation, I bid you adieu.